Hello and welcome to Smash Hit Sports. I'm Cody. That's Nick. This is the world's greatest college football trivia podcast episode of all time, maybe ever. That being said, before we get into the trivia, it is official that conference realignment is officially into effect. So as of July 1st, conference realignment it's happened.
Yep.
So Colorado, Arizona State, Arizona, and Utah are officially in the Big 12. Texas and Oklahoma are officially in the SEC. Oregon, Washington, USC, and UCLA are officially in the Big 10. SMU is officially in the ACC. I don't think that the ACC didn't get anybody else other than SMU, right?
Oh, we got Cal and Stanford.
Oh, Cal and Stanford.
Which
Yep.
is, How could you forget the West Coast Conference teams joining the Atlantic Coast Conference?
Did you see the SMU video of they had like horses coming out of the ocean?
I love that.
It was pretty sick. It was pretty badass.
I'm not upset about adding those teams. Cal has really never offered anything to any sport, it feels like. But SMU, they care. They're fun. Stanford has been cool, I feel like. And like
Stanford's great in every sport that like doesn't generate revenue.
Yeah, but they had years in football, you know? They absolutely did.
Fair.
They went in our lifetime. So, and it's also the like having gone to an ACC school, we added the smart schools kind of, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like oh yeah, we'll take like the smart schools cuz you know, we're a smart conference. And I like that.
I mean,
and
I would agree. Like, if you were to tell me, hey, which conference is the smartest conference, I would say probably the ACC.
Kind of has to be now. No choice.
Yep.
We got Duke, all them.
Fair.
And Clemson.
Yep. Wake Forest. Wake Forest is big brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clemson. So so now the conference realignment is officially kind of like dust settled. How long do you think that this landscape sticks?
Yeah, well, it's tricky because obviously the ACC is trying to dissolve, and we've talked about it, and it's weird because everywhere I look, it's going to happen, but then all of the logical points that I read is like, well, it's impossible, it can't happen. So I'm very confused on whether or not it's going to happen, but I guess I trust the people more. So I would say it probably lasts about 2 years. That's my guess, but it is interesting because, like, you remember when Texas and Oklahoma announced they were joining the SEC? Like, when was that? 3 years ago?
That was like 3 years ago. It feels so long.
But I just remember, like, at that moment thinking about 2024, that summer, being like, man, that's going to be crazy to see, like, Texas and Oklahoma leave. And then, oh God, imagine you could tell you're 3 years older, or like your older self, like, oh yeah, the whole entire thing is different. Like Cal and Stanford are in the ACC. The Pac-12's gone. Like, this is just crazy. The Pac-12 was supposed to be the super conference. It's nuts.
Yeah, I think next 3-4 years, I think Oregon State and Washington State will find a home, and then we'll have some movement in like the group of 5, but I don't think we'll have any major.
I think their home is going to be the Mountain West, though. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
The Mountain West is cool.
Yep.
It's just, you know.
I agree.
Yeah, it's weird. And yeah, maybe it takes like 5 years. Who knows? But I do think eventually it's going to be. We might even get like a super duper conference where it's just like 50 teams, and the rest, that is just college football now. Is those 50 teams, and then the rest is like subdivision college football. I can see that happening. The Super League. Crazy.
Yeah, and I don't know if that'll be like between the Power 4 and Group of 5, if that's what the split ends up looking like.
Well, no, because I don't think there are tons of teams that just they wouldn't, like Boston College, I don't think would make the Super League because they just don't care enough. You know, they don't have the NIL, they don't have any, like, they can't offer it. So they would have to be relegated. A lot of teams would be relegated, right? But that, as a Clemson fan and as a Notre Dame fan for yourself, I don't think it'd be the end of the world for us. I think it'd be pretty cool if that ends up happening. It's just, it'd be a sad. Everything is it's a double-edged sword. What's happening in college football? Half cool and half really disappointing. That's just the way to word it.
I absolutely agree. So, all right, let's get into trivia. We're going to start with some conference trivia, Nick. And this is going to be a pick 'em. You got to pick one team or the other. It's very, very simple. It's who has won this conference more recently. So, we're going to start with the SEC. Classic SEC schools here. Who has won the conference more recently? Mississippi State or Tulane?
Tulane was in the SEC a really long time ago. And it feels like this has to be a trick question. So I'm just going to go with Tulane. That's my answer.
That is correct.
Nice.
Tulane has an SEC title from the 1940s. Mississippi State, I believe they also. There we go. The ding. The ding. Mississippi State has an SEC championship, but not before Tulane. So I don't know if Mississippi
that's
State
crazy.
Tulane's is more recent. Yes.
That's good trivia.
Yes.
I don't. There might have been another way to word that where it wasn't just like, oh, it has to be Tulane, because like, I bet people listening a lot of them are probably like, wait, what the hell? Tulane was in the SEC, which I think that was me up until like 6 months ago. So,
yep.
Regardless,
the next one.
There's a point.
The next one is Georgia Tech or Ole Miss.
Georgia Tech or Ole Miss in the SEC?
Yep. In the SEC. Who has won an SEC championship more recently? Georgia Tech or Ole Miss?
Now, I am not aware of whether or not Georgia Tech's been in the ACC, but my gut tells me Georgia Tech was an OG ACC. So I'm going to go with Ole Miss on that one, unless it's just a double trick.
You are correct that it is Ole Miss, but Georgia Tech does have an SEC championship.
Wow.
Ole Miss is just more recent.
Okay, but it is Ole Miss?
It is Ole Miss. All right, move.
Wait. All right. Nice.
Listen, there we go. Now we got the ding.
My buzzer's lagging.
Keeping it moving, a newer conference, the Big 12. Who has a Big 12 title more recently, Nebraska or Colorado?
Colorado, welcome back to the Big 12.
Both of these teams were great in the 90s and early 2000s.
I know, yeah. It's kind of just like, did Colorado... When did Nebraska go to the Big 10? I don't remember. I'm going to go with Nebraska. It has to be.
It is Colorado.
No! All right.
By 2 years. Colorado last won the Big 12 in 2001. Nebraska last won it in 1999.
Good for you, Colorado. That was like such a 50-50 shot guess. So.
Yeah. And then the last one, TCU or Baylor?
TCU actually lost the conference championship 2 years ago. Baylor lost it to both, I think, Oklahoma State and Oklahoma recently. So I think we have to go back almost to 2014, which was TCU. So I'm going to go with TCU.
TCU did win it in 2014. Great pull. Trayvon Boykin, elite squad. But Baylor won the Big 12 in 2021 against Oklahoma State.
Oh, they beat Oklahoma State?
Yeah. You got the result of that game incorrect. So Baylor is the more recent one there. I feel good I got you on those.
It was extremely close, right? Like that game, it was like a dive at the pylon type.
Yeah, it came down to, I think, double overtime.
Yeah.
I thought I would get you on the TCU, going to the playoff but not winning the Big 12. Damn.
No, yeah, that much I knew. And then I just remember, Baylor lost to Oklahoma because they lost the 28-3 game, and then they played again in the championship, and they lost. And I just thought they lost to Oklahoma State, so I had to go all the way back. But I was wrong. Two out of four, whatever. That's good trivia,
Yeah.
Cody.
You want to do Pac-12, Big Ten, ACC real quick? We got a couple I can fire off.
Yeah, sure.
Pac-12, Idaho or Arizona? Idaho, the Vandals. Roll Vandals.
Let's go with Idaho because it just has to be Idaho.
It's Arizona, actually,
Oh, come on.
1993. But the Vandals did win a Pac-12 championship in 1927.
Okay.
Washington State or Oregon State, since they are the last remaining of the Pac-2.
Yeah, did Oregon State do it at all recently? I don't think so. I'll go Washington State.
It is Washington State. They won it in 2001.
Oh my goodness.
Or 2002. Big Ten, Minnesota or Indiana?
Indiana's been so bad, but Minnesota wouldn't surprise me if they haven't done it. So I'm gonna go with Indiana.
They split a conference title in 1967. They have not. Neither one of them have won
Yeah,
since.
that
So there's
doesn't surprise me. Yeah, like
which is
the answer's
the most.
neither.
Yeah, which is hilarious. And then Northwestern or Illinois?
If Northwestern's done it, it's like 1942. But again, Illinois. God, maybe in like 05 they were okay or something like that. Got to be Illinois. It has to be.
It is Illinois by a year. Northwestern has a conference title in 2000.
Okay.
And
so then Illinois. Yeah,
2009.
Illinois had a couple decent teams in the early 2000s.
Yep.
So.
And then ACC, Duke or North Carolina. We got to go that rivalry. Who has a football conference title most recently?
I don't think any of them have it recently. So North Carolina, at the very least, has had decent teams. I'll go North Carolina.
It's Duke. Duke won it in 89. North
89.
Carolina won it in 1980.
Yeah, I mean,
and then
this is way out of my pay grade going back that far.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then two teams that I know you are just a huge fan of: South Carolina or Miami.
Well, Miami was in the Big East, I thought, for a while. So, was Miami ever in the SEC, or was South Carolina? What?
This is an ACC championship.
South Carolina was in the ACC, really?
Has never won the SEC.
Well, Miami, I guess, was in the Big East when they won. I guess Miami's probably just never won the ACC then. So I'll go South Carolina.
Miami has never won the ACC. You are correct. South Carolina has an ACC title 1969.
Nice.
That is wild.
Yeah. All right, there's my buzzer.
Winners.
Winner in that sense. That's pretty tricky. The ones that were more recent, I liked more.
Yeah.
Obviously.
The old ones are just it makes you like it is kind of crazy that Idaho was in the Pac-12 at one point. South Carolina was in the ACC. Maybe we look at all this conference realignment a couple years from now and be like, oh shit, like yeah,
this
Colorado
is more normal than yeah. I mean, it isn't yet. It's not that crazy. I'm pretty excited for it. TBH. It's just it has the potential to get crazier, and I don't know if I want that.
Yeah,
I think that's the problem. Yeah. Okay, so if that's it for your first segment, I think I did okay. Could have done better. If you did better at home, congratulations. Go get the dinger and press that button. But I have 15 trivia questions for Cody. We're going to do 3 for every segment that Cody does. The first 3 trivia questions, this is a mix of college football and NFL, by the way. But the first question is college football. Okay, these are all going to be gettable, but I don't expect any of them to be layups. Maybe 1 or 2.
Okay.
Question 1 is: this Pac-12 school has had one of their players finish second in Heisman voting 5 times in the past 15 years.
This Pac-12 school second 5 times in the last 15 years.
That is
That's
correct.
crazy.
That is a
So
crazy stat.
15 years goes basically back to 2010, right? 2009, 2010.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, oh, because you have Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart who won it back to back in 05, 06. And that was but that would be outside of this time frame, and that's not second. So
Exactly.
I'm gonna rule out USC
Okay.
because they've kind of been ass for a while. I think we're gonna have to go Ducks here. I think we're going with the Ducks. They had like Royce Freeman and then DeAnthony Thomas, but really I'm relying on Marcus Mariota as being one of those guys.
Yeah,
Bo Nix.
it's possible that Mariota won and finished second. That is possible. Are you final answering that?
It's not going to be Oregon State, Washington State. Ooh, it could be Stanford. It could be Stanford. Andrew Luck and RG3. RG3 won it. Bryce Love was outstanding. Christian McCaffrey should have won it, and he didn't win it. I'm going with Stanford. I'm going with Stanford. You tried to get my ass.
That's the correct answer.
That's crazy.
What a
They
pull.
came in second 5 times in the last 15 years.
5 times. I think
they've been terrible for the last like 5.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I think Andrew Luck was twice finished second, and then Bryce Love, and then McCaffrey, and there's someone else. Maybe someone did it twice out of those two, but yeah, that stat is pretty freaking crazy, right?
That is wild.
That's nuts.
That's a wild ass stat.
Good pull though, because you were very close to finalizing Oregon, which wouldn't have been terrible. I don't know the data off the top of my head, but I'm sure they've had one or two, at least since 2000 or something like that. All right, so you're 1-0 so far on the gauntlet. If you go 15-0, Cody, I'll give you $1,000, and everyone that watches $1,000. And that's a promise. Question 2. This is one of the ones I think could be a layup, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you 3 names. You're going to have to name the school, and then I'm going to give you 3 more names if you need it, but you then get only half a point. Okay?
Okay.
Your first 3 names are Andrew Bogut, Kyle Kuzma, and Marcus Williams. Safety for the Ravens.
So all of these guys played for the same college, or
yeah, and obviously those were 2 basketball players, but one football, and then I have another basketball and 2 more football players for you.
Well, this is an absolute layup. It's the Utah Utes.
That is correct. Yes,
Andrew Bogut, baby.
Yeah,
Utah legend.
That was one of the 2 where I was like, Cody's probably gonna get this. Let's hope so. And I didn't even say I had Dalton Kincaid, Alex Smith, guys like that are just like, oh, duh.
Yep.
All right. Question 3. Who currently holds the record for the most receptions in one single NFL game? And bonus points if you know how many receptions that is. I can give
Brandon
you.
Marshall.
It is.
It's 21, and it's on the Broncos.
That's correct.
Let's go.
Well done.
Let's go.
All right, 3 for 3.
Ball knower.
That is true.
Certified ball knower.
We have we were like on track for me having to pay everyone $1,000. Which congratulations.
I love that. The listeners are invested now.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. We are going to do this next segment real simple, Nick. All you have to do is just name who has the most conference titles for each conference. It's real simple. We're going to go down the list. I have a handful of conferences here. Some of them iconic conferences. Some of them don't even exist anymore. So we're going to start. We're just going to go. We'll do the Power 5 first, and then we have a couple of other conferences. So who has the most conference titles in the ACC? So I have a list, Nick, up here of each conference, and then how many conference titles it is.
Yeah. It's
If
tricky.
you want to look at the list, you can. It shows you the conference and then the titles. It's on the Google sheet.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
That's,
so won't give it away. You absolutely can't
but
look
at
at it.
least it gives me the number.
The number of titles that the team has won, but it does not give you the team. So that gives you kind of a little bit of an idea.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think of Clemson specifically and how many I think they have, and they had a decent stretch in the '80s, and then obviously have won seven or eight actually. I think they won six in a row, and then 2011, 2023 they won. So, um, that's a lot, but I don't think they 21. Yeah, so has Clemson won 21? Did they win 13 back in the day? No way. So, I think that we can cross out Clemson in that sense. Now, with all the stupid realignment stuff, I just have to hope that it's not like a realignment team, um, and hope it's just an original ACC team. And in that sense, Florida State has the best legacy, right? They just have to, because so many other teams played in so many other. Oh God, it's tricky. But I think I have to go. Yeah, it's not gonna be like NC State or anything. So yeah, I'll go Florida State. It makes sense for them to be at 21.
Nick, you should have gone with your gut. It is the Clemson Tigers at
Oh,
21. Florida State.
really?
Yes, Florida State second at 16. But Florida State did
If I'm
not
being
win
honest,
the
my gut
ACC
was
title.
that it's not Clemson, but
Yeah. Florida State did not win an ACC title before 1990. So every Florida State ACC championship has come after it's 1992 and on.
yeah.
Maryland has 9, NC State has 7, Florida State has 16, but Clemson with 21.
Well, you know what? Good for us. Good for us.
Yep.
Again, it's so tricky because it's like, yeah, I know we had good teams, but I know we also had some really bad teams in the '90s and '70s and whatnot. And it's just, I have no idea who we could have been bad, still won the ACC. I have no idea.
Yep.
I just remember the '80s because that was kind of the glory days, and then when I have been alive, and that did not add up to 21. So tough math.
Fair. Next up, the Big Ten has 45 conference titles attributed to one team.
Yeah, has to be Michigan because I'm pretty sure Michigan has the most wins. So I'm going to final answer Michigan.
Yep, that is correct.
Yeah.
Keep that one pretty straightforward. Next up, the Big 12, 14 conference titles are attributed to the Big 12's champion.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I would honestly think that it'd be Oklahoma over Texas, but again, that could just bite me. But there used to be a conference called like the Southwest Conference or something, like way back in the day that had all the Texas schools. I'm pretty sure. But Oklahoma, I don't think was in there. I think they've been Big 12 the whole time. So I'm just going to go Oklahoma. Final answer.
It is Oklahoma with
Come
14.
on. Come
It
on.
is Oklahoma with 14. You brought it up. The Southwest Conference. It's on my list. Let's just jump right to it.
Okay.
27 Southwest Conference titles are attributed to this team.
Yeah, it's a Texas school. I'll tell you that much. Very well could be Texas. Could be Texas A&M. It could be TCU. My question is like, is it a smaller? Because 27, I didn't know the Southwest Conference was that. The longevity of it, I didn't know it was that high. So
yeah, it ended in 1995, 96, and it is around for a long time before that.
Yeah, it must have just been like a really big thing. Obviously, born in 2000 over here, so this is all like I just learned this in any way I can, right? Spontaneously. So I think I have to guess Texas, just because if it's not Texas, Who is it? Texas has no right to be like the cream of the crop then if they're behind a different Texas school like Texas Tech. It just can't be. So I have to go Texas.
And you would be correct. It is Texas. Keeping it moving. Pac-12. Who has the most Pac-12 conference titles?
Okay, and it's 37, really.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yes. It's a lot.
Well, the Pac-12 I don't think has been like USC has been in the Pac-12 the whole time, right? And this isn't basketball, so I just doubt it's UCLA. I think it just has to be USC. I mean, God, they must have won every year for a stretch there. So USC, final answer?
Real easy. Kept it real simple there, Nick. It is USC.
Nice.
SEC, 30 titles.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about Bear Bryant and how good Alabama was and then how good Alabama's been, I'd be pretty surprised if it wasn't Alabama. Like, could it be Florida? I doubt it. Doubt it's LSU. Doubt it's tricky. Doubt it gets crazy like that. We're gonna go Alabama. Final answer.
Yep. Sometimes the simplest answer is the correct answer. It is Alabama. Two more conferences. We're gonna go with the American Conference, which is unbelievably new. Basically, the old Big East. There are 2 teams to pick from that have won multiple American titles. Only 2 teams have won multiple American titles, and they've only won 2. Who are those 2? One of those 2 schools.
This is like they're active in the American, or this is just all time?
All time.
Huh. Well, I mean, is Tulane in the American? I feel like they are, right? Because American to me is like SMU, Memphis comes to mind. And then UCF was in the American for a little bit. I'm sure that's one of the answers.
That is one of the answers.
Okay.
There's one more.
I guess Tulane in the American. I just don't. I feel like I'm just blanking because it's the summertime.
Tulane is in the American Conference.
Okay, then that's my answer.
That is incorrect.
That's incorrect. Okay.
It is Cincinnati.
Okay, that makes sense.
You got one of the 2. I will give it to you. Cincinnati and UCF both have 2 conference titles. No other school has more than 1.
Yeah, no, that makes plenty of sense because Cincinnati, obviously, when they made the playoff, they were in the American. So.
Yep. And then the Fun Belt, Sun Belt. This team has 22 Sun Belt titles.
Oh my goodness! Like Georgia Southern or something like that. Troy.
I will say one has 22. The next highest has 20. So they are neck and neck at the top of this list.
I guess App State, but App State was FCS. It's got to be, like a Troy or something like that, or Georgia Southern or something. I'm guessing Georgia Southern's the one with 20 based on what your reaction is. So obviously it could be Georgia State. I just highly, highly doubt that. There's what? Louisiana, no, that's Conference USA. Sun Belt, Fun Belt. Who else is even in there? I'm just going to go Georgia. No, I'm going to go Troy. Final answer.
Troy was the 20.
No.
App State was the 22.
App State was 22? I thought they were FCS.
So that's Sun Belt titles is what I have, and that's what.
Like, were they not when they beat Michigan in 2006 or whatever? Or 7? Were they not? Like
they were FCS at that point.
So.
Yeah, Sun Belt Conference Football Championship. App State has the most, according to.
Maybe they were in. Maybe they were in the Sun Belt and then went FCS and then came back or something. Because mathematically speaking, it does make sense, and I don't know. I don't know how it works. But that makes enough sense. So I'm not upset about
it. It's just all-time conference titles shown at 22. Their first season in the Sun Belt is 1928, so I think they might have been in and then out and then back in.
So that's just heinous for me. But what's interesting there, before that last question, I had gotten everything besides Clemson, so I was kind of
Yep.
hoping to get another one wrong. That would have just been embarrassing. To be like, yeah, like I know ball, I just don't know my own college's lore. That sucks, but now I do.
That would have been tough. That would have been tough.
Yeah. All right. That wraps it up for that segment for you.
Yep. That's it.
That was very fun. I enjoyed that. Now you have 3 more questions coming your way.
I'm dialed in.
Yeah, dial in. You are 3 for 3, Cody. If you go 15 for 15, you win everybody $1,000, including yourself. Hopefully you don't do that. I'm going to have to stop you. Question 4. And you'll probably get this, but we don't know. In 2016, there were a plethora of crazy endings. My personal favorite was when number 11 Tennessee beat this team on a Josh Dobbs Hail Mary caught by Jawan Jennings just 10 seconds after they lost the lead to a Hail Mary themselves. What team was ranked 25? Who did they beat?
2016.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Dobbs.
Jawan Jennings caught the Hail Mary.
Is it over the Georgia Bulldogs?
That is correct.
Let's go. Let's go.
That is correct.
I remember that game being absolutely chaotic. And I was like, there's no way any game could be ever like this. And then we had there was the Cam Newton Auburn tip catch to win that game.
Or that was the Nick Marshall.
Yeah, that is right.
Yeah. But so that was Riley Ridley was on Georgia. I think Jacob Eason was the quarterback. With 10 seconds left, they 50-yard Hail Mary themselves that kind of had that same Tua to Devontae Smith vibe to it, where it's like, oh my God, the game's over. Somehow Tennessee wins that game.
Wild.
All right, so you are 4 for 4. Now we're
dialed in.
Trust me, there are some that are going to stump you here. Question 5, NFL question. The only time a wide receiver has ever accrued 101 yards in a single drive was when this Packers wide receiver did it in a 2016 playoff game, capped off by a game-tying Hail Mary.
Holy shit. Okay, I'm trying to think of 2016 Packers wide receivers.
This would be
that was post
an awesome
Jennings. I think that was it. I think that might have been pre Devontae Adams. Is it Jordy? I'm going to say no. I know the Hail Mary that I think of for Aaron Rodgers is to a tight end, and that's Rodgers to Rodgers, Richard Rodgers. But he's a tight end and not a wide receiver.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a wide receiver that used to wear a hoodie underneath his jersey in James Jones.
James Jones. You know what, Cody? I'll tell you this. First name starts with a J, and last name starts with a J. It is not James Jones. It is Jeff Janis.
My God, the white boy wonder. No.
Jeff Janis. It was against Arizona.
Oh.
It was the Larry Fitzgerald took that Carson Palmer pass down and blah, blah, blah in overtime. But before that, Jeff Janis caught 101 yards of passes on that game-winning drive. Absolutely unfathomable to do that. That is very impressive. That's your trivia. That ends it. But we'll see. Maybe if Cody goes 14 for 15, maybe there are some home field promo codes we can toss out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're still alive here. This is still very impressive. James Jones is a good pull, and the fact that you went JJ and it was JJ is kind of crazy.
That's heartbreaking. I felt pretty decent about that. And
if you could have just remembered the Hail Mary itself, or if recently you were just watching the greatest NFL moments ever and you saw it, you were like, oh my God, Jeff Janis, right? That was the
Yeah,
hope
because I
there.
kept picturing the Hail Mary that was Rodgers in
The
against
Raj,
the Lions in
that's
Detroit.
Detroit, yeah.
And that's the
Which might have been the same year. I feel like Rodgers did it twice in 2 years. He's crazy. But
nuts.
yeah, so that ends the streak, but you did get 4 pretty tough questions right in a row, which is very impressive. Last question for this round 2 here, to go to be 5 out of 6 going into the third round, which would be very impressive, Cody. Question 6: who was the number 1 overall rank in the first ever college football playoff rankings? First ever.
The number 1 overall team in the first ever college football playoff rankings.
Yep. So whatever, it came out October 27th of 2014. Who was ranked number 1?
2014. This might be the dumbest I've ever sounded. Is 2014 the year of Dak Prescott at Mississippi State? Because I think there's a legitimate shot that the answer to this question is Mississippi State. And I know that they have not been worth a damn and they have never made the college football playoff. And maybe I'm going to sound like an absolute idiot and I should just say I should just say Alabama or Clemson, because in all likelihood it's probably Alabama or Clemson or the team that won it all that year, in Ohio State. But they got in as a 4 seed. I'm going to say that the first ever number 1 team in the college football playoff rankings is the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Cody, that's correct.
Let's go! Let's go!
That is correct. What a poll.
Oh my God.
Yep.
I'm an absolute savant.
Yeah, that is a question that a lot of people don't get right, because unless you've been told that or like saw it recently, there's no way that comes to your mind. You know, it's like, oh, college football playoff rankings, Mississippi State, by the end, they weren't really close. It's just that one rendition where I think like Ole Miss might have been 3rd in that ranking. You know what I mean? Like, it was kind of chaotic from the jump, which was really fun. But yeah, Mississippi State was ranked number 1, and that was Dak Prescott. And I think it's because they beat Alabama, right? I don't know. A bunch of chaos.
I feel really smart for pulling that.
You should. You're 5 out of 6 right now, which is fantastic. The only one you got wrong was NFL, and it was niche as hell. So we'll see how it goes. But
I feel good. So next trivia game, if you guys aren't familiar with Breadbasket, the Breadbasket guys on TikTok, they are absolutely incredible at what they do. This is going to be a variation on one of their games. So this is 15 words or less. It's going to be brought to you by Home Field because they give us 15% off. But essentially, we have to guess 8 words in a communication of 15 words or less between Nick and I. So this is brought to you by Home Field. Use code NICK15 for 15% off your first purchase. Home Field has the absolute best in college merch. They do hats, they do jackets, they do shirts, sweatshirts, all sorts of the best college gear in the game. They just released a ton of dad hats, which I'm absolutely going to be purchasing.
Love dad hats. Yep.
Nick15 for 15% off at Home Field. And Nick, 15 words or less. So I'm going to start giving you some words to guess these 8. So it's 8 words. We got to get them in 15 words or less.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I think I'm ready. I'm familiar with the game. Shout out Breadbasket.
Okay. Bevo.
Say that one more time for me.
Bevo.
What in the hell is that? Bevo? Oh boy. I need another. That's one word, right? I need another one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Longhorn.
Texas.
All right. Texas.
Is Bevo the name of the Longhorn?
Bevo's the name. Yeah.
Never in a million years did I know that.
Okay.
That's fine though.
That's tough.
That's fine.
That's tough. All right.
I think we're doing okay.
Down.
Yeah.
We're 2 words down. All right. Central Conference.
Big 12.
It is the Big 12.
Okay.
It is the Big 12.
Okay, nice.
Okay, I feel
What do we have?
good about
4?
that.
That's good because
Okay.
I could have gone Big Ten,
Four
but
words.
Big 12 just screams Central.
That's what I thought. That's what I was thinking.
That's good. No, you were reading me well there. Yep.
Okay, 4 words. This one's gonna be tough.
Okay.
Edible mascot.
Okay. Well, so there's the Delta State Fighting Okras that are out there, which comes to mind because of the pickle. What other mascots are edible? God, I don't know. I guess technically a lot of them. I'm sure that's Syracuse Orange. And I feel like if we're doing trivia, we're not doing Delta State. No one should know that. That'd almost be cheating. So I'm gonna go Syracuse Orange.
All right, I'm gonna give you another word.
Okay, damn it.
Toaster.
Toaster. I mean, what, like the Pop Tarts Bowl?
It's the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Oh my god.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right.
Okay, we got the Pop-Tarts
team.
Bowl.
I was thinking of a team. All right. Well, then Toaster saved. That was a huge save.
That was a huge save. We are 7 words in. We have 5 more words to guess. So we got to be real good.
Yeah, you got to be. Yeah, let's fire in. Let's connect heads right here. Let's go. I believe.
This one's tough. Okay, I got it. McCaffrey.
Could be so many things, though. I mean, Stanford could be running back. Could be White. Could be 49ers. I doubt it's White. I'm going to cut that out. I don't know. I guess Stanford makes the most sense just based on why you would say it. No, but you could have said just like, but we have to do one word here. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm going to go with Stanford.
It is Stanford.
It is.
It is Stanford. Yes.
Okay.
It is Stanford. Okay.
Come on.
So we're good there. 8 words. We're halfway done. We have 7 more words, 4 more items.
We have 7. I thought we just had 7.
We have 7 words left.
Okay. So we had used 7.
8.
Now we've used 8.
Used 8.
Okay, well, this is doable, Cody.
Okay.
Come on, here we go.
Yeah, this is doable. Okay. This is tough. I'm gonna go drip. Drip.
Okay, drip has me thinking. I mean, like the Oregon jerseys come to mind with what was just happening. I just don't know. There's so much, like there's like the turnover chain. That's also coming to mind that a lot of schools do. Boston College, it has those uniform. I don't know. I feel like I'm overthinking it. I feel like I might just need another word, but we can take another word here. I can take another word. It's not like I have to get it.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna take another, unless it's Oregon jerseys, and that's right. But
okay.
I'll take another.
It's not Oregon. All right. Clemson.
Clemson drip. What? I mean, what? How? You're killing me on my own team.
Yep. I am. This is tough. This is tough.
Clemson drip.
I'm too chronically online, I think, is the problem now.
What could this be? I do not know. I really don't have a clue. I feel like we don't have, at least not while I was there. Slash. Oh my God. All right. If I take one more word, we're not out. I know that. I just do not have it. So I'm gonna need another word.
Clemson coach.
Dabo Sweeney.
Yes. Coach Sweeney got that drip.
You could have just said Clemson coach.
I know, but I thought I could get it in one word with drip.
Yeah, no.
But then I didn't get it in one. I should have just used 2 words. I ended up using 3 words. That's poor word management. That's poor word management on my part. That's on me. That's on me.
Yeah.
That's on me. I'll take that.
Yeah, drip definitely didn't come to mind with Dabo. I do think I like vaguely know the quote. Vague. It's vague though. So yeah, that might be on me for just not. But I don't know. I feel like all the Dabo shit talk that's all the other schools do that. You know, when they're making fun of Dabo, like I try to just disassociate from. I love Dabo.
Fair. It is. So. It's definitely a video making fun of Dabo.
Oh yeah.
Even though he's the one saying Coach Sweeney got that drip.
He's like he got the gloves on, right? Like the recruiting. He's like on a visit.
That's why I did this.
Yeah. That I was like, shit. That threw me off because I was like, what logo or what team has something like that?
Well, we're going to use 2 words on this next one. We're going to get it real easy.
Well, how many words do we have left now? 4. And we
have 4 words left.
Okay.
We need to get 3.
Okay.
Right? Real easy. Bama, Auburn.
Iron Bowl.
There we go.
Okay.
13 words. We have 2 left. This one's going to be tough. Environment.
Okay. So I know we can only use 1 word, so this is really tricky. I'm assuming that it's not something that makes that much sense, right? It's not like, energy or something like that. No way. It's got to be
It's college football related. I mean, let's not.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's like what, stadium energy or something like that. I'm saying it's not that. But I'm saying, if I had to guess, it's somewhere along the lines of something like a Death Valley or something like that.
Nailed it.
Really?
Nailed it.
Okay.
Nailed it.
Nice.
Let's go.
Nice.
Death Valley. We love that. Okay. I'm not going to lie. I didn't think we would get to this point. We have 1 word left. We have 1 college football item left.
Okay, this would be a great poll, I believe. Please.
Money.
I mean, this just has to be. It has to be NIL, so I'm just gonna go with NIL. It has to be.
No.
What is it?
No.
What is it? What, like?
I'm gonna try. We're gonna try to get this in 1 more word. Money. Scooby.
Scooby. What the hell is Scooby? I don't know Scooby. Scooby-Doo? Scooby-Doo.
You've never seen Johnny Football. Him dressed up in the Scooby-Doo costume, Money Manziel.
Oh, no.
Brutal.
I've never seen him in the Scooby-Doo costume, tell you that much.
You've never seen Johnny Football in the Scooby-Doo costume?
Money with the hand signal.
I did the hand signal.
I couldn't tell that the hand. One hand signal felt like cheating too. But
That's tough. That's on me. So we didn't get it. You know what? That's okay.
I wonder what. Yeah, like
Please Google right now Johnny Football Scooby Doo.
I'm sure
I need to see your instant reaction of seeing this picture.
I'm sure I've seen it. Like I can picture it a little bit now, but I'm trying to think of what I would have said.
I was trying because like Texas A&M, that's multiple words.
Yeah, like with one word, it's tough. This is hilarious. Yeah,
Heisman, I guess.
Like Heisman, if we had 2 words, like youngest Heisman, because he was that.
Is it Lamar though? I thought Lamar was younger.
Yeah, Lamar was a sophomore.
Oh, okay.
So
Denzel
was a freshman.
Yeah. Right? If I had 2 words, yeah, freshman Heisman. Damn.
Yeah, which is tricky, and Scooby Doo, like, if I had processed the hands as like you trying to give me a hint rather than you just being like Italian almost and just being like like money, I'm like, oh, like I was thinking like booster money, NIL money.
Yeah,
we talk about NIL on this show all the time. It has to be NIL. I wish I had one of those for you, but I don't. So
hey, we can do it next time.
It's possible I could just create one as well. But so I have 3 more questions for you. We're on question 7, question 8, question 9. Let's see. So question 7 here is a college football question. You are 5 for 6, which is very impressive. And if we can go 14 for 15, we're going to do something special here. Give out some codes or something like that. So question 7. Ohio State's national championship season in 2014 probably would never have happened if they didn't wipe the floor with this team 59-0 in the Big Ten championship to jump over 12-1 TCU for the 4th seed in the final college football playoff rankings. So what team did Ohio State beat 59-0 so that they could make the playoff?
So it's a Big Ten West team. And unfortunately, I remember this game pretty vividly because I wanted to go to this game.
Yep.
It was my senior year of high school. Unfortunately, I didn't get the chance to go. I thought it was going to be so close. I thought Wisconsin was going to pull off the upset, and they did not.
The answer is Wisconsin.
It is the Wisconsin Badgers. Damn.
Wisconsin. Nope. Congratulations. You are 6 for 7. That is very good. Yeah, this is the gauntlet, right? Like, I'm very curious to see if anyone else could be 6 for 7 at this point. I would borderline say no. Question 8. This is kind of a hybrid NFL and college question here. This Michigan running back went undrafted in 2015 before signing with the Seattle Seahawks and rushing for 830 yards and 4 scores in his rookie year. So it's basically who was Michigan's running back in 2014 and who was Seattle's running back in 2015.
See, I almost feel 2015 feels like roughly beast mode era. So this feels like it would be like a beast mode adjacent or beast mode backup. There's a couple of running backs that are like CJ Procise, Thomas Rawls, and then there's another one that I cannot think of the name of. And he was an absolute thumper, and then he had a neck injury.
Yeah.
I want to say it's is it the guy with the neck injury, or am I
I'm not going to say unless that's your final answer. I know the name of that guy if you want me to tell you. Just see if it feels right for you.
Tell me the name of that guy.
Chris Carson.
Yeah, I'm going with Chris Carson.
Okay, no, that's wrong.
Damn it. If it was Thomas Rawls, I'm going to be pissed.
It is Thomas Rawls.
Yeah. No!
Yeah, I know. You said Thomas Rawls. I was like, oh my God, you might actually get this. Because that's a brutal question.
I got that whole backfield, and then I ended up saying the wrong guy. Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah, CJ Procise. There's like Justin Forsett was around.
Yep.
God, I mean, a couple other guys that I can't even think of off the top of my head right now. But yeah, Thomas Rawls was the answer. I remember him vaguely at Michigan. So that I kind of, this question to me, I try not to like give anything else away besides like that's your hint, kind of, is that, he went to Michigan, because I was like, oh, who went to Michigan that went to Seattle? You were very close to getting that right, so hold your head up high. Question 9.
Chris Carson went to Butler.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea where he went.
Oh, sorry. He went to Butler Community College and transferred to Oklahoma State. He's
Okay.
Oklahoma State
maybe rings a bell. Question 9 is a which school produced these 3 running backs question. I feel very confident in you here, Cody. Very confident. Think you're going to gaff at this question, but we'll see. These 3 running backs. The first running back is Montario Hardesty. If you want to answer after that, you are a god.
I could probably guess, but I think it'd be wrong.
Okay.
So let me get the other name.
The second running back I'm giving you is Jamal Lewis, this is still hard, but by the third running back, you will get it. So this is your chance to be impressive.
I think I've got it.
Okay, you can throw out. I will give you a guess here if you want to guess. It's not your official guess. I will say.
Is it the U? Is it my?
I'm not going to say right or wrong. I'm just going to get that guess out just to see if you were, if you nailed it or not. So Hardesty, Jamal Lewis. The third running back is Arian Foster.
Oh, Tennessee.
Yeah, there you go.
Tennessee. Yeah. I didn't know Jamal Lewis went to Tennessee. That's crazy.
Neither did I. Montario Hardesty was like 07, so I like vaguely remember it. But Jamal Lewis, well before my time.
Yep.
All right, so that does it with question 9. So you got that right. You have 2 wrong, but 7 correct through 9. Sadly, not going 15 for 15 today. Not going 14 for 15. I don't think we're going to be doing any giveaways because of that. But this is the gauntlet for a reason. It's supposed to be really hard, and Cody's doing really well. We're going to be back with round 4. But now it's Cody's turn.
Yep. We'll do some giveaways in the future for sure. I have a list of 8 guys on the Google Doc, Nick, and they will be on the screen for those watching. I have a list of 8 guys. I need you to eliminate people by who has the most Instagram followers so you can find who has the least.
Interesting.
So who has the least Instagram followers out of the 8 guys on the screen? It is Johnny Manziel, Reggie Bush, Quinn Ewers, Shedeur Sanders, Tim Tebow, Travis Hunter, JJ McCarthy, and Baker Mayfield for those listening to the audio version of the podcast.
Which of these 8 guys has the least amount of Instagram followers?
Yep.
Okay. It is, I'm going to say, no way it's Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow is, the Christian church as a whole is probably following him, right? So I'm crossing him out. How many?
He has 3.1 million followers, the most out of anybody on this list.
Okay, that's very good to know. I think Shedeur Sanders is probably up there as well. Would not shock me if he had the second most. I'm going to guess Shedeur Sanders is not the least.
Shedeur Sanders does have the second most, 1.8 million followers.
Nice. Okay. Baker has to be. I would guess Baker's like a 1.1 guy or something like that. Like he's Baker Mayfield. You know what I mean? Like it can't be Baker. So I'm going to guess Baker is not the answer here.
Baker Mayfield, 1.5 million.
Yeah. All right. So this leaves me like Travis Hunter is a cornerback. Obviously, he's well perceived. He could be at the millions, but I don't know. JJ McCarthy, I would honestly guess. But he did just win the Natty. But like, it wouldn't shock me if he wasn't at a million. Quinn Ewers, I would say probably isn't. Reggie Bush, that's tough because he's old. Reggie Bush is tough, but it's Reggie Bush. And then there's Johnny Football, which Johnny Football has to have a ton of followers. Yeah, I'll get rid of Johnny Football.
Yeah, that was a smart pick. Johnny Football, 1.7 million.
Okay. Then I'm going to
Reggie Bush, Quinn Ewers, Travis Hunter, and JJ McCarthy still on the board.
Yeah, the trick here could just be that Reggie Bush like is just an older guy. Like cuz he was what 22 in like '05. So when Instagram came around, like there's a chance that he just was like, "Oh, I don't no one I know uses this, blah blah blah." And if that's the case, he might just have like 500,000 and all these young guys have a ton. Um that follows enough logic for me where I think I'm just gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with Reggie Bush today, Cody. Is that correct?
As the least.
As the least.
Let's eliminate the guys who you think it's not before we get down, and we'll have you pick from your last two.
Well, okay. I'll eliminate McCarthy and Travis Hunter.
Okay, so those were the correct two to eliminate. JJ McCarthy 552,000, Travis Hunter 1.3 million.
Yeah. Okay.
So it is
That makes
between
sense to
Reggie
me.
Bush. It's between Reggie Bush and Quinn Ewers. You did nail them down to the last two, so it is one of these two.
Well, it seems like it's Quinn Ewers based on all things that have just happened in the past 30 seconds. Because I was going to go Reggie Bush. Seems like that's not right. But my logic, I mean, it makes sense if it's Quinn Ewers. I mean, he's not, he hasn't done what JJ McCarthy has done. He isn't as famous as Travis Hunter, I would say. So it wouldn't surprise me at all. I was thinking Reggie Bush just didn't have, like, it just wouldn't surprise me if he just didn't use Instagram the same way. It just wouldn't surprise me, but I think it's Quinn Ewers because of everything. So
it is Quinn Ewers.
Yeah.
Reggie Bush has 765,000 followers, and Quinn Ewers has 211.
211 followers? Wow.
Well, 211,000.
No, yeah. Okay, so yeah, so Reggie Bush had the third least.
Yep.
And then it was JJ and Quinn.
had the second least.
Doesn't surprise me. Yep. But yeah, so Quinn Ewers. All right.
Didn't Reggie Bush have like a super famous wife for a while?
I don't know. And it's possible. I mean, it's possible that he's just like he's a social media guy now, right? Like, yeah, I don't know. Could be. That was my logic in that sense. It's tricky. It's tough. But I think I did pretty well on that. Not gonna lie. I knew zero of the answers, so I don't think I follow any of them. Besides, no, I don't follow Tebow, so no. All right. We left off on question 9. We're back to question 10, question 11, question 12. The last 3 questions before we get into kind of like the really fun questions that I'm excited to ask. So you are 7 for 9. Very impressive. Question 10 is another 2016 game question. Or no, this is 2015. So who did Miami beat in the 8 lateral miracle kick return touchdown game in 2015?
Miami, the Dolphins, Miami?
No. This is you know the play. The
Miami, Florida.
Miami, the U. Like this was this is probably up top 5 most absurd moments in the history of sport type play.
2015.
It was just like the laterals that lasted for like a minute and a half.
The worst part of this is this either came right before or right after they beat Notre Dame in heartbreaking fashion, and I wanted to end it all. I think I might have honestly. I don't know if I watched this game because of how upset I was from the Notre Dame loss.
Yeah,
well, I'm gonna.
You can throw out a guess.
I'm gonna go Florida State.
No, yeah, it is Duke. Looking for Duke.
Damn.
That's one where it's like that's a tough question, and I'm not even sure I watched it live, but it's more of like that YouTube video of college football best moments. Like I've seen that play, or like on TikTok it just pops up where it's like I'm certain you've had to have seen the play, just not have processed who they were playing, which was my hope, honestly. But if you've never seen the play, then that's a whole nother thing. We have to get you. You got to just rewatch that because it's insane.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen it, but
it's like, oh, it gets a block. and like the ball like hits the, or like there are a couple laterals that are illegal. I don't know. It's nuts.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Question 11. I love this question. This is a tough one that I hope you can get. I think you can get it for sure, but it's the Chicago Bears only drafted 2 Pro Bowlers from 2010 to 2013, Kyle Long and this South Carolina wide receiver that they drafted in the 2nd round in 2012.
South Carolina wide receiver they
That's right.
drafted in the 2nd round of 2012.
That's right.
I'm trying to think of guys who've come out of South Carolina. The most recent one I can think of is Debo, and obviously it's not that. I'm trying to think of guys who have like had any sort of historical success as a wide receiver for the Bears. Now, I think Brandon Marshall was very, very, very good for the Bears, but did he play at South Carolina? I'm going to go with yes because I truly cannot think of another Bears wide receiver that you could even think about making a Pro Bowl that isn't for like returning kicks.
Mm.
So unless it's like Johnny Knox,
What a pull, Johnny Knox.
which like he was great as like a punt returner or whatever until he broke his neck. I'm gonna go Brandon Marshall.
Brandon Marshall, I do not think was drafted in 2012. Given that he like retired in like 2015, right? So, no, the answer, and
damn,
you're gonna
been retired for that long. That's crazy.
I think so, right? I mean, he's maybe 2015 is a little early, but he to me, like he was probably like 2015. He was probably on like the Jets or something like that. Like his career was in that stage. But yeah, so the answer is Alshon Jeffrey.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It was gettable.
I don't know why I was thinking that
gettable.
Alshon Jeffrey wasn't drafted by the Bears.
Yeah. You almost
I thought he was on I don't know why I thought he was on a team before that. Damn it.
He feels like an Eagle, but like like he was a Bear, and it's just that those were like the Lovie Smith like weird Bears teams.
Yeah.
Just kind of like,
and I wouldn't have I think of who's the guy who was originally Allen Robinson, Penn State.
Yeah,
is the guy that I think of because he went Jaguars to Bears.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, Alshon Jeffrey. Yeah, it was gettable. It was out there today.
Yeah, that's a gettable one. That's tough.
But it was tricky, right? It's not. Yeah, we're not doing layups here. This is the gauntlet for a reason. And then question 12. This is an NFL question. This is one that you either kind of know it or you don't. But Marshall Faulk retired as one of the best Swiss Army knives in NFL history, but many don't know that it was his cousin that was the first player to ever be coined with that nickname. What was his cousin's name? He had the same last name. And he was the original Swiss Army knife. That was his nickname.
Is it Kevin Faulk?
That is correct, Kevin Faulk.
Let's go.
Nice. New England Patriot, Kevin Faulk. He was a Swiss Army knife. That is a very perfect way to describe him.
We love that. Nailed it.
Okay, back to you.
Yep, we're gonna play. It's the same game that we just played with Instagram followers, except we're gonna do. You gotta pick which schools out of this lineup has the least number of college football wins, just total wins.
Oh my goodness!
The schools on this list are Clemson, Virginia Tech, Oklahoma, Yale, Oregon, Michigan State, Miami, Nebraska, Navy, and Rutgers.
Jeez.
So try to eliminate the schools that have the most first, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, I will say this. I think I know the answer, but I'm not 100% confident. This is what I'll work through. Clemson, I know, is around 15, 20, 25 or something like that. They're around there. So unless you grabbed teams from the top 10, which I don't think you did for all of them, Clemson I know is not the answer. So I'm going to cross off Clemson.
Clemson is 20th in wins at 798.
Yeah,
so
20.
Across 800 wins this season.
I also know that Yale is in the top 20. I'm almost certain of that because it's Yale. They are like the oldest team. So,
Yep, they are the oldest team in college football. They've been around forever. 936 wins, good for seventh in college
Rutgers is
football.
also an extremely old team. So I'm going to cross off Rutgers.
I thought this would be the one where I got you. Rutgers is 63rd with 671 wins.
Wow.
It's a lot of winning football for
63rd, though, is
Rutgers.
lower than I thought. I'll tell you that. But I guess they've been pretty fucking terrible. So I just know they're old.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
Navy is Navy, unless this is some sort of trick question. And if it is, good for you. But I'm going to cross off Navy.
Yep. Navy is 738 wins, good for 34th.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, then it gets. I'm going to cross off Oklahoma. Because I think they value football quite a bit there and have for a while.
And they are the highest team on this list, 944 wins, good for sixth all time.
Good for you, Oklahoma. Who is number one? You know?
Number one all time is Michigan. They are the only team to win 1,000 football games.
That's right. Yeah, I think I knew that. I think I said that earlier.
You did.
Yeah, I just brain farted. I was curious, but okay. So if I had to tell you right now what my final three would be, it would be Miami, Oregon, and Virginia Tech would be the three teams that I think I'm going to keep. So, and Michigan State's tricky, but I think I'm going to. Well, I'll get rid of Nebraska first, just because they had so much glory, and they're just such a Midwest football. Like, it can't be Nebraska.
Yep, Nebraska is ninth all time with 917 wins.
Okay,
They are higher than I thought they would be. They're above Georgia, USC,
that is pretty
LSU.
high. Yeah, I could have got them out earlier, I guess, but whatever. I then think I'm going to get rid of Michigan State. This is the first one that I feel risky about, though.
Yep, but a good call. Michigan State, 37th all time wins, 730.
Okay, so I have these three left. My gut tells me that Oregon is the answer. So I'm not going to get rid of them. I know that Oregon was bad. They were really bad. So I don't know how old they are. It wouldn't shock me that, like, there's no way in like 1902 that they were playing. Were they even a state in 1902? So that's my thing with Oregon, because they were bad for a really long time. Now Miami is tricky because I just don't know anything about pre-2000s Miami. I just don't know. I just don't know. It's tough. Virginia Tech feels like that's more of a historic program. So I think I'll get rid of Virginia Tech next.
Virginia Tech is a historic program, Nick. They are 26th all time in wins at 772.
Okay.
They are above Pitt, Florida, Georgia Tech, Syracuse, teams of that nature.
This is
So you
tricky.
are between Oregon and Miami. I will tell
Okay.
you this. Both of these teams are between 50 and 70 in terms of all-time wins. So you did narrow them down into that right lane. These are the two closest or the two least out of every school that I listed here, outside of Rutgers. So Rutgers was 63rd, which is between these two teams. Now the question is it Oregon
Or is it
or
Miami?
is it Miami?
That is the question. Yeah, and I think I have to stick with my logic here that I just think Oregon probably existed after and was worse for longer, even though since maybe like 1998, Oregon has been really good. Maybe they have like 250 wins in the past 25 years, 10 a year. I know because I looked this up like months ago. I think I was doing like a video comparing colleges to like an NFL team or something. And I was like, well, Oregon is like the Saints because the Saints were the Aints and Oregon was also terrible before somehow becoming good. So I think the answer has to be Oregon. That's my logic.
Nick, I set you up here to absolutely shit on the University of Miami, and I couldn't. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. It is
What?
Miami. It is
Miami?
not Oregon. Miami is 69th in all-time wins at 663, right above teams like Cincinnati, Kentucky, Central Michigan, and Tulsa. And Oregon is 50th in all-time wins at 705, right below Missouri and above Boston College in Iowa.
Yeah, that is surprising.
Tough.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I
But
don't know when. My thing is, I don't know the Miami lore, so I had nothing to base off of. Like, what was Miami in 1983? Did they exist? I don't know. They might not have.
But you narrowed it down. You narrowed it down pretty well.
Yeah, darn. All right. Well, that was fun. That was tough. I have 3 more questions for you.
Before we get into those 3 questions, just a reminder, if you guys do want to go to any baseball games before we get to college football, if you guys are starting to plan your college football road trip, use SeatGeek. Promo code SmashHitSports gets you $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. So get your tickets there. Save a little bit of money because ticket fees suck. All right, Nick, last 3 questions. I feel a little rattled. I'm a little rattled. After the last 3, I didn't do as well as I wanted to.
It's true.
I'm dialed in. Here we go.
8 out of 12 now, which is a far cry from being 6 out of 7 that you were earlier. You've missed 3 of your last 5. Question 13 is a guess the year question. You might hope that this is going to be easy, but it is not. Your first hint is Utah finished 12-0 this year, but they were only 7th in the final BCS standings. Georgia was preseason number 1. Michael Crabtree had a game-winning catch against a rival. Mm-hmm. Andre Johnson led the NFL in receiving yards. And Brett Favre unretired for the first time.
Yep.
Those are your hints.
So this has to be right around because it was while Mike Leach was at Texas Tech. He was the head coach of that air raid team. Graham Harrell, who is currently the offensive coordinator at Purdue, was the quarterback of that Texas Tech team when Michael Crabtree caught that game-winning touchdown over Texas. Now, the quarterback of that Texas team is what I'm trying to think about here, because I know it was not Vince Young, which means it is like post 2007-8. That puts me, I'm going to right around that like 2008, 9, 10 range. It is what I'm thinking. Brett Favre was on the cover of Madden in 2012? No. In 2010, because 11 was the Troy Polamalu, Larry Fitzgerald combo cover. And when they put Brett Favre on the cover, they had to put out 2 issues of the cover because he did unretire or change teams. But that was Jets to Vikings. That was not from the Packers. So, Nick, I'm going to say this is 2000, and Utah going undefeated. I think they were in the Mountain West at this point under Kyle Whittingham. Kyle Whittingham started coaching at Utah in 2005. He's the second longest tenured head coach in college football right now. He started coaching there in 2005 when they did go 12-0. I'm going to say, Nick, that this is 2009,
Final answer.
the year that all of this happened.
The answer, Cody, is 2008.
Damn it!
2008.
Oh my god, I was so close.
And this, I will say you, I think Favre was on the 09 Madden that came out in 08. I think that's true because I think then it was Polamalu and then it was Drew Brees in 11. But yeah, Utah was in the Mountain West. Nailed it. Michael Crabtree. Colt McCoy was the Texas quarterback.
Quarterback.
Andre Johnson leading the NFL in receiving. It felt like it could have been 08, 09, 2010, 2011. It could have been a bunch of years.
Yeah.
Not supposed to give it away. It's supposed to be very tricky. You were very close.
Damn.
But lucky for you, we have another guest of the year, and you can make up for it. Okay?
I felt pretty good about that too. And that's tough.
Yeah. No, trust me. I thought you were going to say 08. Because it felt like you were leaning earlier. You were like slowly realizing, wait, I think it's a little earlier. All right. Guest of the year part 2 for Cody. First hint here is that the Bolitnikoff winner was Brandon Cooks. That's your first hint. Your second hint is Kadeem Carey was 10th place in Heisman voting.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that's such a throwaway stat.
The Ravens played the Patriots in the AFC Championship game.
Okay.
Now that's tricky because they've done that a couple times.
Yep.
Tavon Austin was drafted 8th overall. And I'll tell you this, Nick Marshall was quarterbacking Auburn.
Okay.
That might help you the most.
Yeah. See, because Nick Marshall quarterbacking Auburn, because I can't remember when Auburn won the national title. Because it was before Florida State won the national title, because Florida State beat Auburn with Jameis and Kelvin Benjamin. And that was before the college football playoff. And the college football playoff started in 14, which means the Florida State national title was in 13, which means this happened in 2012. Brandon Cooks was at Oklahoma State. And Kadeem Carey, God knows where he played.
God knows where he played.
I'm going to say this is 2012.
Okay, I'll tell you.
13, I'm going to be so pissed.
This is what I'll say right here, because that's your final answer, yeah?
Yep.
So the Ravens and the Patriots AFC Championship game was there in 2012. Nick Marshall was quarterbacking Auburn. Problem is, Brandon Cooks didn't win the Bolitnikoff in 2012. He won it in 2013.
No!
No! 10th in 2013. Tavon Austin was in the 2013 draft. And the Ravens played the Patriots again in 2013 in the AFC Championship game, and they won that time.
That's disgusting. That's so gross.
Yeah. Those questions, God. It's so hard to make it not obvious, Cody. If you tried to make some of these guess the years, there's something I could have said, like Jameis Winston won the Heisman. I think you get that if I say
I would have gotten it, because that's the thing. I knew Nick Marshall was a quarterback at Auburn for 2 years, and it was either when Florida State won the title against Auburn, or was it the year before that? And I couldn't.
Auburn made the title game because of the Nick Marshall to the kicks, all that, the Georgia game.
Yeah, the kick six. If you would have said kick six, I would have. 2013.
Automatically 2013. Exactly. So it's there are so many things I cannot say because it would give it away. The idea is to give you just a rough, vague idea of what it could be.
You got me within a year.
Both times.
Both of these times.
And you realistically, there's a world out there where you're like Tavon Austin, just feels more 2013 than 2012, and you go 2013, right? Kadeem Carey, that was hilarious. I could have said Trey Mason, but I didn't want to double up on the Auburn. There were a couple of weird Heisman guys in there that were like, I don't know, but Kadeem Carey, I think he was Arizona. I remember him in the NFL, so whatever. But yeah, you got close. All right, question 15. This is your bonus question here. The guess the years were always going to be hard, but that's the gauntlet for you, Cody. The gauntlet is supposed to be hard. Going undefeated is a feat of only a god could do. Okay, that's why I would give you $1,000 and everyone watching. Question 15. I'm going to give you a list of former NFL running backs. The catch here, Cody, is that I made up one of them. One of them is a completely fake person, and you have to tell me what the fake one is. Okay. All right. So here's the list. Here you go. Running back 1 is Charkandrick West. Then there is Lerod Stevens Howling. You might want to write this down or type this out so you can look at it. Dexter McCluster. Mm-hmm. There is Kevin Sean Gerard Block, Rock Cartwright, Fozzie Whitaker, Orleans Darkwa, Jaquiz Rogers, Ruben Drones, and Fitzgerald Toussaint. Those are your options. You have to find the one that's fake.
Okay, so I'm going to start. Fozzie Whitaker played for the Panthers.
That's correct.
There is a running joke that he would be the last pick in our fantasy draft like every year for like 3 years. He wasn't in the league very long, but somebody
we had like the same thing. We had the same bit.
Love that
like
name.
Yeah.
So Fozzie Whitaker.
We're gonna get rid of Fozzie Whitaker. Yeah,
we're gonna get rid of Fozzie Whitaker. We're also gonna get rid of Ruben Drones. I believe he was on the 49ers and the Texans for a little bit. Also maybe the Browns, but Ruben Drones, absolutely a real running back. The other one we're going to get rid of is Dexter McCluster, which I feel like at some point in ESPN fantasy football, he had both running back and wide receiver designation, and you could put him in either slot.
I think that's true.
More of a kick returner, punt returner kind of guy than a true running back. But
he was a Kansas City Chief
on that list.
And
Charkandrick West was also a Kansas City Chief.
That's true. Well done.
So we're going to eliminate him from that list.
What a name.
Orleans Darkwa.
Oh, Orleans.
I believe played for the Jags?
No.
Orleans Darkwa, real player.
Yeah, he's a real player. He played for the Giants.
Yeah.
Orleans Darkwa's a real man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Orleans Darkwa, real player.
I have his jersey.
Rock Cartwright, also a real player. What are my names that I have left?
Rock Cartwright is a real player. Do you remember who he played for?
I'm gonna say Buccaneers, maybe.
I think it was the Redskins, the Commanders.
Oh, okay.
All right. So you have Lerod Stevens Howling, Kevin Sean Gerard Block, and Fitzgerald Toussaint and Jaquiz Rogers.
Okay, Jaquiz Rogers was an Atlanta Falcon.
That's right.
I will never forget Jaquiz. He made for a lot of great fantasy football team names.
Yeah, you can't Jaquiz is a toss up.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Fitzgerald Toussaint, I believe, was a Seahawk, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, real player. He is a real player.
Real player. I believe he was a Steeler. It might have been a lifelong Steeler.
So I'm between freaking whatever Glockenspiel and Stevens Howling.
Yeah, you're between the hyphenated guys of Gerard Block and Stevens Howling.
Yeah. Nick, you think you're real fucking slick with this. You think you're real fucking slick. Lerod Stevens Howling, absolutely a real player. Gerard Block, made up bullshit.
Cody.
That is my final answer.
Yes. You're the first person that's ever gotten that right. I hope you know that.
Obscure running backs. Let's go.
I have asked that to like 40 people. Nobody got it right. It was nuts. So
Absolutely.
I was very excited to ask that. I honestly wasn't sure. I thought there was going to be someone that you just didn't know. But yeah, you nailed it. You ran away with it. I hope that there are people playing back home that are listening that also got that right. And if you did, comment or if you got it wrong, let me know who tripped you up because I mean, yeah, that's a tough list, man. That's a tough list. Not a lot of guys that you have, or that were good. I guess we should say.
Yeah. Yeah. What an episode. We will be doing college football stuff here soon. Previews, all that kind of stuff. Those videos will start dropping here soon. So make sure you subscribe. If you made it to this point in the video, DM me on Instagram, Fozzie Whitaker. If you do that, I will send you a $25 gift card to Home Field as a thank you for making it to this point in the show. So DM me Fozzie Whitaker. The first person to DM me will get the gift card. But yeah, so thank you guys. I know it was a longer episode, but you made it this far. So we appreciate the hell out of that. Make sure you like and subscribe. And we will see you in the next one.
Adios.